Today's NBA is filled with something that we didn't see as much in previous eras: young stars. The NBA has always had young players with a lot of potential to become stars one day, such as Kobe Bryant, who didn't see many minutes his rookie year, but by the end of his career, well, you guys know the story. But today's NBA has young players who are already stars. We have Trae Young, Zion Williamson, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, Ja Morant, and a couple others. As of right now, if you had to pick a young player to build your future team around, and you picked any of these guys I just mentioned, we'll have to see how their futures look, but as of now, it's safe to say you made an A+ pick. Even though all of these guys are walking buckets and most likely Hall of Famers if they keep it up, there is one guy who I'd take over any of these other ones: Luka Doncic, the dude who looks more like the team manager than the guy who somehow manages to keep his team relevant. How is it that a slow, unathletic player can average nearly a 30-point triple-double at only 20 years old? What's up, you guys? My name is Ray, and today we're going to be talking about why Luka Doncic might be the next NBA all-time great. These videos take forever to make, and somehow I'm managing to post them pretty much daily, so if you could just give this video a thumbs up, that's all I ask for. It's not gonna go away until you hit the button, so please just hit the thumbs up button so it can go away and we can get going. Alright y'all, let's get into the video. Standing at 6'7", 230 pounds, Luka Doncic is one of those rare players who can score the ball at will. Before entering the NBA, Luka Doncic was playing in the Euroleague. The Euroleague is the second best professional basketball league in the world after none other than the WNBA. No, I'm kidding, the NBA of course. In fact, the Euroleague has such elite competition that multiple NCAA stars have gone to the Euroleague and been bench players at best. Take Nick Calates for example. At Florida State, he averaged 17 points and 6 assists and was named first team all-conference. He decided to take his talents to the Euroleague, and that year he only put up 3.5 points. So that in itself is proof enough that the Euroleague isn't a team that the Knicks could win a championship in. Now, if that isn't enough to convince you that the Euroleague has elite competition, take it from Luka himself. In February of 2019, Luka Doncic said, "Here in the NBA, it's easier to score than in Europe." Of course. Huh? What do you mean, of course? That's like, he makes it sound like everybody knows that it's easier to score in the NBA than in Europe. Now that you know that the EuroLeague is legit, at only 19 years old, Luka Doncic became the MVP of the EuroLeague and led his team to a championship. Luka's rookie year, he averaged 21.2 points per game, 6 assists, and 7.8 boards. Just to put that into perspective, LeBron averaged 20.9 points his rookie year, and the only other two rookies in NBA history to average at least 20 points, 5 dimes, and 6 boards are Oscar Robertson and Michael Jordan. And this year, Luka's second year in the NBA, he went from averaging 21 points as a rookie to 28.7 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists at only 20 years old. And yes, Luka is 21 years old, but he didn't turn 21 until February 28th, and the NBA season was suspended on March 11th, so it's safe to say that he was 20 putting up these numbers. When NBA stars lose athleticism, they normally take a few years to change their game to one that doesn't need much athleticism so that they can continue to play in the NBA. A good example of this is Derrick Rose, who went from being a player who relied on a mixture of skill and athleticism to a player who had to avoid trying to do anything athletic in order to avoid getting injured. As you all know, Luka Doncic doesn't have any athleticism, and his game fully revolves around his skill set and basketball IQ. So in 10 years, when most players his age are going to start realizing that they need to develop their fundamentals, Luka Doncic is going to remain ahead of the game because he's been playing that way his entire career. If you think that's a stretch of a statement, look at players like Tim Duncan and Dirk Nowitzki, who never relied on athleticism, and they both went on to play for 2 decades in the NBA. Even when Luka starts to become old for an NBA player, his game isn't going to see much of a decline because his skill set is always going to be top notch. Although Luka Doncic doesn't have any titles yet, I mean, come on, he's only in his 2nd year. His winning mentality and refusal to be outdone by another player on the basketball court is going to get him at the very least 1 NBA title. In a game against the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James was doing what he normally does. LeBron finished the game with 39 points, 16 assists, and 12 rebounds. Luka Doncic took note of this and contributed 31 points, 15 assists, and 13 rebounds, and hit a couple clutch shots down the stretch. Yes, LeBron James did have a better game, but you can't really expect anyone, especially a 20-year-old, to have a better game than LeBron. However, you do have to admire the fact that a 20-year-old Luka Doncic stepped up to the plate and did his best to match LeBron's contribution to keep his team in the game. If you don't respect what Luka did here, after the game, LeBron dapped him up and called him a bad mother effer. If you've ever played basketball, you know that dapping someone up on the other team after the game is the ultimate sign of respect, and LeBron James, arguably the best player to ever play, showed that sort of respect for Luka Doncic. If that doesn't show that Luka has that killer instinct, then maybe you just never had it and that's why you don't recognize it. If you grew up playing basketball, then you have at least one memory where you were practicing by yourself and you imagined you were in the NBA and the shot you were about to take was going to be a potential game winner. Well, Luka Doncic is no different. When the game is on the line, Luka Doncic tells himself that he is the man who needs to put the fate of the game into his own hands. His rookie year against the Rockets, the Mavericks were down by 8 with only 3 minutes left to go in the 4th. Luka caught the ball in the corner and strapped a 3 to cut the lead down to 5. Then on the Mavs' next possession, rookie Luka Doncic called for an ISO on Clint Capella and then gave him a step back 3. And just in case you don't know, Clint Capella is one of the best defenders in the NBA. Yes, he's good on offense as well, but Clint is mainly known for his role in Hollywood. Whoops, wrong Clint. Then with the Houston Rockets leading 102-100, Luka drove to the paint and tied the game with a little floater. Keep in mind, we are talking about a 19-year-old rookie here, doing something that the late great Kobe Bryant is known for doing. After Luka tied the game, James Harden airballed a 3 down at the other end, and Luka got the ball on the Mavericks' next possession. Of course, the Rockets had their best defender guarding him, James Harden. Psych, they had Clint Capella guarding him because he was the 3rd candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year award just the year before. So you would think Clint Capella learned his lesson from when Luka strapped him up a minute ago, but watch what happened next.
Screen by DeAndre. Capella switched on to Luka. Luka with the step back 3. Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
That's a bad man. LeBron was right. Luka Doncic ended up giving the Mavs the win and scored 11 points in just the last couple minutes of a game where within 3 minutes left, he found himself down by 8. If that's not being clutch and if that doesn't resemble Kobe and Jordan, then honestly, I don't know what does. The fact that he's nearly averaging a 30-point triple-double. His rookie year stats were better than LeBron's and comparable to Jordan's. The fact that he steps his game up in the clutch. He has a high basketball IQ and a play style that'll last him for at least 15 years. And the fact that some of the game's greatest players ever are already respecting his game is enough for me to say that he can be one of the greatest to ever play this game. After all, he's doing things on a basketball court that no one has ever done at his age. Most 6'7" 20-year-olds are getting their buckets by using their strength and athleticism, while this 20-year-old is getting his buckets by doing step backs and fadeaways that he will still be able to do when he's 35. I believe these are all solid facts to back up everything I said, but like always, comment down below letting me know if you agree or you disagree. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and thank you all for watching.